Hi guys, it's Antoinette the Confident Woman, and welcome back to my channel where I help you live a more confident life. If you're new here and you like the content, then consider subscribing. Just hit that button. So most people think things like this come easy for me. Doing this, especially like talking to the camera and putting myself out there, is actually me stepping out of my comfort zone, because I naturally tend to stir more towards the side of being an introvert than extroversion. And don't let the title mislead you. Introversion in itself, I feel, is not a bad thing. It just means that that's how you're wired, and it can have a lot of positives, not to talk about the fact that a lot of successful people, both past and present, are known introverts. But having said that, it's not like it's a stroll in the park in a world that gravitates more towards and better serves people that are naturally extrovert. There's this kind of like unspoken bias around, and practically everything from our workplaces, school, places of religion, they all have this bias towards extroversion. So generally, introversion has been a tricky one for me, because in a way that's how I am. It's part of my character trait, but on the other side, I know that it's probably been an excuse for me not to step out and do certain things, or do things that I should have done or I could have done. I kind of like use it as an excuse, like, okay, well, I'm an introvert, and this is what introverts do, Plus, being introverted can kind of come across as being cold and standoffish, when deep down you know that's not who you are. But perception is everything, and it's important how people read you and how you make other people feel, because people never forget how you make them feel. So all in all, I think that being an introvert shouldn't be an excuse for a lack of basic social skills, especially if you're putting yourself out there, and especially if you've got to constantly interact with people. And a point I also want to bring out is that introverts may not be as confident as extroverts because they don't necessarily practice the skills required for confidence. So for instance, public speaking or engaging with people in social settings. But you'll find that the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And so I guess that's why confidence seems like second nature, or something natural, or something naturally associated with an extrovert person. Let's just say that extroverts have had more practice at being confident. So all in all, I think striking the right balance is what's needed, and not being too extreme. So I've been working on areas in which I feel being an introvert is not serving my current state or my future well. And here are some of the things that have helped me. First and foremost, you need to believe that you can. Self-belief, for a lack of a better word, is like the first step to figuring out how you can work through it. You need to see yourself in your mind's eyes as being able to accomplish things that may not naturally come to you. So see it as less of a task or less of a chore, visualizing it. Like, this visualization is so key. Visualize it as being something that comes natural and easy for you, and something that you can accomplish. Remember that as a man thinketh, so is he. So for me, cliche as it may sound, meditating on certain scriptures, for instance, that pertain to me developing my confidence in that particular area, helps me to visualize myself as successful in that area. Number 2, foresee the future. And no, I'm not telling you to go out there and become a palm reader or any of that sort. What I'm saying is, are you weighing your short-term comfort over and above long-term gain? And the way to measure this is to look ahead. Is what you're doing now helping your future, or are you choosing the short-term easy cop-out option that's preventing you from feeling uncomfortable over making progress? So for example, are you turning down speaking engagements, well, because you don't like speaking in public? Or you say, I get really nervous in front of people. All valid excuses, but they're excuses nonetheless, and excuses that are kind of like paralyzing your development. So remember that you're going to feel uncomfortable if you're going to make progress, if you're going to grow, if you're going to develop yourself. Are you investing in your future freedom, or are you living for the now? In the context of what I'm talking about, are you doing what will get you long-term gain it might require you to do something that is naturally against your grain for a short period of time now, but nonetheless helping your future. So back to the public speaking example. I don't necessarily like it, but I found that it's relatively important for what I do. And speaking at a particular event, for instance, could open the door for other great opportunities for me, and for me to meet people that I may not have otherwise been connected to and get my business further. So I could opt to take the temporary relief or approach of not taking on that speaking engagement, but also I'm left in the same position and the cycle of mediocrity continues. So just think about it, short-term relief versus long-term gain. What's it gonna be? Remember, it's all a matter of perspective. So these are the sort of choices that you have to consciously make. Temporarily step out of your comfort zone and invest in the long haul, which nicely leads on to my next point. Force yourself out of your comfort zone. If you don't force it, it ain't gonna happen. I know you probably don't want to hear this or any other of the points that I'm mentioning in this video, to be honest, but dealing with things or facing them head on only helps our progress. The only person that has the responsibility to bettering yourself and your personal development is, well, you. So call this the harsh truths, those things that you don't want to hear but you need to hear anyway. Yep, I'm gonna be that person today. Force yourself to converse with people in social settings. This is something I really don't like doing, and I often find that simply having to hold a conversation is awkward, but having to force myself to do it is proving so beneficial in building my confidence, and it's like kind of enabling me to handle social situations a lot better, and I'm getting more confident in it and I'm enjoying it, so to say. So just like doing more public speaking is developing my confidence in that area and making me a better person at it, it's also making me less uncomfortable with it. So doing the little things like when you're walking on the street, making eye contact with people, smiling at them, or even saying hello. And if you're from London like me, you'll know that simply saying hello is a big deal. But you need to force yourself to doing these things, otherwise you naturally gravitate towards being comfortable, and that's making no interaction with people at all. If you want to see progress, you're going to have to set yourself practical goals that you can carry out. So example, it may be I'm setting myself the goal of interacting or engaging or acknowledging at least 3 strangers in a week. That's my goal. So you'll find yourself going out of your way to make it happen, to make sure that you meet your target. Number 4, become courageous. I've mentioned this point before in one of my previous videos, and this doesn't mean that you don't fear what you're doing. It means regardless of the fear, you still do it. And this makes you courageous, because once you've done it, you'll realize that it wasn't as bad as you thought it would be, which then kind of instills more confidence in you, and it helps you do it again, and hopefully helps you do a lot better. I hope you got that. I hope you got that. So you'll probably also find that being courageous leads you to becoming passionate about what it is you're doing. And passion is like the driving force that helps take the attention and the focus off yourself and onto the fact that people need what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're offering. You begin to care less of what other people think about you or what they could possibly be saying about you or how they're judging you, because your passion is now driving you to doing whatever is necessary to make it happen, regardless of whether it's uncomfortable, naturally uncomfortable to you. You know that this is aiding me to fulfill my desire for the long run. And number 5, the world needs you. I briefly mentioned this before, but just having the realization that what it is you do or you're saying, be it at work, your business, studies, it's needed. And it's an important mind shift that can help you deal with the negative side of introversion. That side that keeps you kind of locked up and doesn't allow you to share or give with the world. Your talents, your gifts, all the beauty that lies within you. If you kind of just take yourself out of yourself, these things begin to come out and you begin to blossom. And if you don't put yourself out there, then how are people going to know that it's there, it's within you to do? And this is ever so true for me. What little knowledge you have, or in any way that you can help, no matter how small, The world needs you. And in line with this, don't forget that you equally need people as well. As usual, team we, not me. We need people to get us further in life. If we're closed off, which is very natural for us introverts, it's hard for people to help us or even know that we need help. And although working alone, reflecting in solitude is so necessary in life, also working alongside people and interacting with them is just as vital. Human interaction is part of what makes us human, and we can collectively get things done a lot better. So all in all, most of these tips point towards getting out of yourself and putting the focus less on you and looking at the bigger picture or the mission at hand. And you could actually be indirectly self-sabotaging your future and that of others by limiting your belief system and the unwillingness to be more than what you currently are, especially in social situations. In the grand scheme of things, it's really not about us, it's about helping other people. And if you've been following my journey, you know that this acceptance or the acceptance of this knowledge is one of the greatest things that has helped me to get to where I am now. And every time I want to revert back to hiding out in my cave, it kind of just forces me straight back out. So other introverts out there, how do you cope in social situations? Share your thoughts, your suggestions for others in this community so we can all learn and thrive together to help us live a more confident life. Remember that these things take practice, so go out there and practice. And until next time, remember that it's one step at a time to becoming confident. Bye for now.